The money comes in September. I'm fired in September. These guys are fighting a political battle like there is no problem. I don't see any party sweeping, whether it's PTI or PMLN, but I absolutely don't see PMLN sweeping.
There are two things on everybody's mind these days. One, when will the elections be held? And two, where is our economy heading? Is the crisis going to go away anytime soon? Today we speak to former Finance Minister Miftah Ismail and ask some burning political and economic questions. Assalamu alaikum, Miftah Saab. Kaise hain aap?
Thank you very much. Walaikum salam.
Miftah Saab, how would you define the current economic situation of Pakistan in one word?
Bad. Difficult.
Do you think is the most important challenge that we have at the moment? Inflation, currency, which is, in your opinion, the worst?
The worst challenge, of course, is inflation. It's Pakistanis losing their power, purchasing power. It's Pakistanis losing their ability to buy goods and services. Pakistanis losing their ability to buy kitchen items. Many Pakistanis, most Pakistanis have been lower middle class, working class and poor people. 60% of Pakistanis have family income of less than 40,000 rupees. That's family of 6. So Pakistan has always left its working class and poor class at the edge of poverty or below poverty. This is the first time that, not the first time, but after a long time, that the middle classes are also feeling a pinch. Upper classes are feeling a pinch. Things have become really expensive and it's become very difficult for people to make ends meet. So inflation is by far the biggest problem today I see in Pakistan.
So how would you see and term the IMF conditions? The conditions that were set back in 2019 when PTI signed the agreement and the conditions that they are laying forth now because of the trust deficit that they have on the ministry. How would you define that conditions? Is the IMF being unfair or is it like there's a trust deficit and lack of negligence from Pakistan side?
The thing is that we've done this in 3 times in the last 1.5 years that we've made sovereign commitments and have gone back on that. Hafiz Sheikh made commitments. Imran Khan was the Prime Minister when he got the 4th, 5th and 6th review or something and the IMF gave them money. As soon as the IMF gives them money, Hafiz Sheikh is fired, Shaukat Tareen comes and he gives a budget which has nothing to do with the IMF program. So that was the first time we broke our commitment. Then, of course, the IMF was not giving the next tranche, so Shaukat Tareen now then comes up with a mini budget in November of last year and agrees to a new IMF program. As soon as the money comes in February, the Imran Khan government again reduces petrol prices. At that point, diesel was costing the government more than 200 rupees, but they were selling for less than 150. So that obviously was not tenable. And again, we broke this commitment. Then I came after much difficulty, we were able to secure an IMF program again. The money comes in September. I'm fired in September. Dar Saab comes and he says, no, I'm going to look IMF in the eye and, renegotiate this program and, this and that. It keeps the dollar at an artificially low rate. Our remittances go down, our exports go down, and inflation is going up anyway. So I don't see the point of all of this, and then we break a third agreement with the IMF. So IMF now obviously doesn't believe in Pakistan, but would you?
But do you think with the elections coming forward, the 9th review is still, we are still trying to convince the IMF to release the tranche, 10th review has been pending. Do you think we'll be able to complete this by June?
So the finance minister had been saying that we will get the review done in 1 week. He'd been saying this for many weeks now, but now it doesn't even say 1 week. The issue, I think, is that Pakistani government has done all it can. Now it's the matter of foreign countries, friendly foreign countries, giving us some money so that our external accounts are not in deficit, or that our external requirement is complete, is fulfilled. The real issue, I think, is also that the IMF doesn't trust the finance ministry.
But then with Pakistan constantly asking US to help, don't you think this should have played a role in convincing the IMF, and because we've been constantly asking the US for help, but the IMF is still not being budged from the conditions and the strict attitude, I would say, that it has towards Pakistan.
So in a country which has very little reserves, $7-8 billion, which is bleeding reserves, where imports are twice as much as exports, more than twice as much as exports. You bring the dollar, you keep the rupee artificially high at 230 to a dollar. You restrict imports against the IMF commitment. You restrict, movements of dollars against the IMF commitment. This forces remittances to go down, to exports to go down. You don't tax the sectors like for instance retail trade that you were supposed to. You give tax breaks and subsidies to the industrialists, the export sectors, without being funded. I mean, this subsidy was not paid for. You continue to have power sector deficits huge, but you don't charge consumers this. So it's not just that you go to the Americans or you go to the Saudis and say, please help us with the IMF. They now also say that look at all the things that you've not done. Why are you not doing your own job? So we have to now look at introspect and look at ourselves, that what is it that we are doing wrong, that countries like Bangladesh, countries like India are so far ahead of us and we are still lagging behind. What is it that we are doing that so many Pakistanis from Khyber to Karachi are so poor, are not able to get jobs, are not able to make ends meet? That are we running this country correctly or not?
Miftah, what about the currency? The IMF has made condition that the currency, interbank currency rate, should be similar to what we have in the grey market, especially the Peshawar currency market. How would you define this condition? Is it justified? Is it unreasonable? What would this impact on Pakistan and the currency overall?
It's very easy to blame others, and we always like to play this game. And it's always easy to blame the Afghans. We used to blame the Bengalis first, and now we blame the Afghans. An Afghan citizen or a Pakistani citizen who's buying US dollars from his own currency, Afghanis, if he buys a US dollar from Afghanis, that doesn't affect Pakistani rupee dollar market, rupee market. It is just like a Thai citizen buying dollars with baht in Bangkok, okay, or Indonesian citizen buying dollars with rupiah in Jakarta, than an Afghan citizen buying dollars with his currency, whether it is in Peshawar, Karachi or Kabul. Now, when an Afghan citizen is buying a currency with Pakistani rupees, then you have to ask, where is he getting the Pakistani rupees from? And it turns out that he's getting a Pakistani rupees because we are buying from them coal and other products in Pakistani rupees. What's he going to do with the Pakistani rupee? He can either buy goods for Afghanistan, which they do, or he will convert this to dollars and buy goods from Iran and other countries. So Afghanistani currency rate is not the issue. The issue is that normally dollar has only one demand that Pakistanis have, which is called a transaction demand for dollar, that if I want to buy imported milk powder or if I want to buy an imported car, I go to a bank and I say, here's Pakistani rupees, give me imported dollars, give me dollars so I can import these goods, and please send their dollars to my foreign sellers. That's the transaction demand for dollar. Now there is another second demand for dollar, which is people are hoarding. There's capital flight going on. Pakistanis are scared of putting their wealth in Pakistani rupees, and so they either buy gold, or and gold meaning that gold coming from Dubai also requires dollars, or they just buy dollars. And so that is the second demand for dollar, which is why rupee is under pressure, and it's nothing to do with Afghanistan, it's nothing to do with the Peshawar market. That's people who understand economics should know this.
Last week, the army chief met the businessmen, and he said that the worst is behind us. Do you agree with him?
I hope that the worst is behind us. I think the economy is going to be in some trouble for the next few months. I think this is too much of a delay between the government of Pakistan accepting every term of the IMF and implementing it, and still the staff level agreement not happening. That just speaks very low confidence that the IMF has in our ability, but also our friendly countries not making these announcements tells me that our friendly countries have very low trust in our ability to manage things. So that's one thing. and I mean, obviously there's a lack of competence there, but also a lack of credibility. But beyond this, I think that Pakistan is in the grip, unfortunately, because of timings and all of that, in the grip of a political crisis as well as an economic crisis, and it's difficult. It's going to be a difficult few months for us, but a few months.
What is your current role in the government? Are you a part of the economic team?
Not at all. I have no contact with the government.
You openly criticize Ishaq Dar's policies that he has implemented, imposed. Did you ever try to, raise these concerns and tell your viewpoints to the party leadership? Because we have seen from the statements and the remarks and the speeches that there is some contradictory attitude in the party itself. What Maryam Nawaz says, what Ishaq Dar says, what Shehbaz Sharif Saab says. Did you ever try to, raise your concerns and tell them about what you think?
After I've left, I've actually decided that I'm not going to participate in electoral politics. And that I understand, I think governance, having served twice as finance minister and having been a minister of investments and privatization, etc., I understand governance, a little bit. I think that Pakistan has seen very many different leaders. We've seen martial law, we've seen hybrid regimes, we've seen Imran Khan Saab, Asif Zardari Saab, Nawaz Sharif Saab, Shehbaz Saab. But the one thing we've not seen is real improvement in people's life. We still have half of our children, school-going age children, not in school, which means that they will grow up to be not literate, when they grow up. If half of your population is not literate, then I don't really care who the finance minister is. This country's economy will not do well. We still have 40% children who are stunted, 17% who are wasted, and another 28% who are malnourished. 86% of Pakistani children don't have the dietary requirements met. And I guarantee you this, that if a child is not given dinner and not given breakfast, no teacher in the world can teach him math or science. That is why the average Pakistani child fails in both math and science. We have not increased the size of the pie. So we fight. We fight over quota systems. We say that, Muhajirs should get a job, or Sindhi should get jobs, or Punjabi should get jobs, and this can happen, or that should happen. Or in Balochistan, Baloch and Pashtun are, talking about, fighting over small pies. And in KP, we have the same thing. And in Punjab, we have the same thing. Sindh, we have the same thing. But the fact of the matter is that poor people in Pakistan are poor everywhere. Similar lives. Whether you are a poor person in Gujranwala or Rahim Yar Khan or Larkana or Charsadda, it's the same afflictions. Same. I mean, if your child doesn't get dinner, he will cry. She will cry. We leave half the population behind the gender because of gender, discrimination against women. And the other population, we are asking, you get these nationalist leaders who are fighting for rights, but nobody's delivered anything because the size of the pie is too small. We have 4 jobs and 10, job seekers. Nobody's thought about expanding the pie in Pakistan. So whether you have Imran Khan or Nawaz Sharif or Asif Zardari or a martial law, nothing will improve this system unless we make systemic changes, bring every Pakistani along, and then increase the size of the pie.
Do you think PMLN will clean sweep the general elections, keeping in mind the support bank that Imran Khan and the PTI has? Or do you think if PMLN and PPP join hands, they would give tough time to Khan?
At this point, the polls suggest that Imran Khan's government party is far ahead of Muslim League. Muslim League has, in Punjab, shed a lot of its voters, perhaps a quarter of its voters. And half of them maybe have gone to TLP, and the other half have gone elsewhere. People's Party still doesn't make any, is not salient in Punjab. It has absolutely, there are other, Ahmed Mahmood Saab is going to win, and his son Murtaza Mahmood will win seats, but that's their own credibility and their own name. People's Party has absolutely no foot in the door even in Punjab. Raja Parvez Ashraf wins on his own seat. Yusuf Raza Gilani Saab wins because of his own name. But a party as a whole has no name, but the True People's Party has significant following in interior of Sindh, in the rural Sindh areas. Karachi again is now, I think, largely a PTI city. I don't see any party sweeping, whether it's PTI or PMLN, but I absolutely don't see PMLN sweeping, no.
Back in 2021, you promised the people that you would make Chilli Milli more juicier if people vote for PMLN. Are you still promising the same to them?
No, but we have actually. No, but seriously, I mean, look, any political party, whether it's PMLN, People's Party, PTI, they need to talk to the people of Pakistan about what is it that the people of Pakistan want. When you hear the leaders today, you hear that I want to be Prime Minister.
Yeah.
That once I is one leader I will not name, he's more into I, me, myself and I than others, but it is all about them. My family suffered so much, or I suffered so much, or this happened to me and I want to be Prime Minister and stuff like that. Nobody's talking to the people of Pakistan. What about the 60% people who basically have 40,000 rupees a month in income? What about them? I mean, nobody talks to them about. What about the young people in Karachi and elsewhere in big cities who cannot find jobs but who have graduates? What about rural Sindh, for instance, where there are absolutely no businesses, no industries are set up, no nicely working industrial parks are made. What about the average Pakistani child, whether in Sindh, Punjab, KP or Balochistan, failing in math and science? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about real solutions that are required. They're just talking about, this is really just, our politics is now just a fight for power, nothing else. I'll be very honest with you. There are no new ideas and there is absolutely no competence.
Would you still vote for PMLN?
Yes, I would. But I don't know if who will be, even PMLN will be able to even find a credible candidate from my area. I hope it does. But
if it doesn't, then who will you vote for?
I'll stay home. I'll see.
You're going to waste your vote then.
Well, I mean, I think, we'll see. But on the one hand, you have the worst economic crisis of our history. Okay. Poverty is increasing, wasting of children is increasing, and on the other hand, these guys are fighting a political battle like there is no problem. I mean, if you listen to any of the political leaders, they talk about their own issues, they talk about their own desire to become prime ministers and all that, but nobody talks about the people of Pakistan. So, I mean, in that case, what's the point?
Any good news for the people who love Cocomos? They are really worried about the 3 Cocomos they get in a 5 rupee pack.
I actually, to be very honest with you, don't really work in the company. My son, my 2 nephews like my sons, who like my sons. I mean, they run the companies, and my 2 brothers, older brothers, supervise them and guide them. I personally, since I've joined politics, have not run. This is the first time now I'm starting to take interest, in business again, and I think maybe right now we are engaged more in this Reimagining Pakistan seminar series. After that, we'll see what I want to do as a career choice.
Last but not the least, when you were the finance minister, you were being criticized for your policies. This is the common perspective that whoever is in position is being criticized. Do you think you've gotten more famous after you come out of the ministry, or after you are now a former finance minister? People now understand you more, people now relate to, people now think that you are doing better things for Pakistan?
Unfortunately, some of the things that I said turned out to be true, but that was simple economics. I mean, people who were criticizing me at the time, isne petrol महंगा कर दिया, didn't really understand that it was not like that people who were keeping petrol cheaper were paying the difference out of their own pockets. It is, you borrow against the government of Pakistan's. You borrow against you borrow that our children will have to pay for, our grandchildren will have to pay for, and now nobody is willing to lend you. So, I mean, there were some of those things that I've said actually have turned out to be true. The importance of IMF and all that has turned out to be true. But the fact of the matter is that when you're not a minister, you can openly say things that you can. When you decide, like me, that I'm not going to be part of the electoral politics, that I can say stuff against my party's policies where I think they've made mistakes. This for instance, or when the government makes mistakes, you can say this. And I've said this, and They say the truth shall set you free, and in my case, I mean, I think the people of Pakistan, there are people who would vote for populists, there are people who would vote for other reasons, but there are also people who admire telling the truth. And one of the things I say now, which is very important, that I'm still not able to, I think, explain to people in as much clarity as I should, is that Pakistan has structural issues now. So just by changing parties or changing faces, nothing will happen. That you need to rethink Pakistani governance. We have one of the worst governance in the world. We need to give local communities more power, either have more provinces or at least give localities power. We need to give money to localities. We need to empower districts. We need to privatize these schools and give every Pakistani student a voucher of 3,000 to 5,000 rupees per month, or 30,000 to 50,000 rupees per month, so that their parents can choose. In rural areas where that's not possible, parents should be part of the school board. We really need to deliver services to the people of Pakistan. We have kept Pakistanis in abject poverty. We have kept Pakistanis illiterate. We have kept Pakistanis running from pillar to post.
This was former Finance Minister with us. This is Afreen Mirza signing off with the message that Miftah Sahab has given, that we need new policies, new leadership to avert the crisis that we are currently dealing with.